If you're looking for the latest news, insight into what it means, and the sharpest opinion, there's only one station in Chicago where you can turn, and it's this one. We're AM 560. The Answer.
Dan and Amy, Oregon Republicans could teach Illinois Republicans, are there any left? Something, at least the ones that are left, which is a statement in and of itself.
Are the ones that are left any good, Dan?
There's a few sort of meandering about, bumping into each other. Oregon Republicans in the legislature fled. They pulled...
Wisconsin. Remember?
Yeah.
When they left Wisconsin, were hiding in northern Illinois.
Yeah, they were hiding in Rockford at the clock tower during Walker's budget bill.
That's right.
When Scott Walker was first elected.
Yep.
So they left to essentially to not be party to a draconian carbon cap and trade style bill. No, I'm not going to participate in it. And they did so as a caucus. Now, Democrats could have passed this by themselves because they control the chambers in Oregon, to no one's surprise.
Shocker.
But they had a couple of stragglers, a couple of holdouts. They couldn't get it done. They fled. Senate Republicans fled last week to block this vote, in part because you need a 2/3 quorum in order to bring the bill to a vote in Oregon, which is different than most states where a simple majority establishes a quorum. So that's why Senate Republicans fled. And the Senate Democrats were having problems getting unanimity among their caucus. So the bill died. And, of course, Kate Brown, the gender fluid governor of Oregon, decrying Senate Republicans for fleeing. Of course, Kate Brown didn't mind this tactic when she used it along with 24 other Democrats in 2001, leaving the legislature there in a spat with Republicans over a redistricting plan. And I know Democrats didn't mind it here when they were witness to Democrats fleeing over the border into Illinois, the last time somebody actually emigrated to Illinois, even temporarily, to try to block Scott Walker's budget repair bill. But the important point Senate Republicans in Oregon made here is this is bad legislation. This would devastate rural communities, harm important industries in the state like farming and logging and dairy, and we are not going to be party to it. Contrast that with Illinois Republicans here who number one, put significant percentages of their very small super minority caucuses on things like gas tax increases, and then issue press releases touting how successful the previous General Assembly session was. A General Assembly session in Illinois that saw Illinois become the most pro-abortion state in the nation, legalizing marijuana, 21 tax and free increases totaling $5 billion, not including the authorization to put the graduated state income tax question on the 2020 ballot, which will pass. So the predicate step for that. And they call that a successful session and working in a bipartisan fashion rather than being, all fire and brimstone like these Oregon Republicans. You want to destroy the state's economy? You're in charge. You can do it. Go ahead, Oregon Democrats. That's what Oregon Senate Republicans said. Illinois Republicans? Hey, we want to be a part of destroying the state's economy. Hey, what about us? If I vote for your tax increases, will you give me a couple $1 million to hand out in my district to show how important I am and how good I'm doing for our district here? As you say bon voyage right out of the district and out of this state, because a couple $1 million for a new swimming pool in the Park District doesn't really materially impact my life the way that, say, usurious tax increases do. Dum-dums. Just a great contrast in styles, isn't it? Oregon Republicans. Illinois Republicans to the left of Oregon Democrats. And nowhere near the courage of Oregon Republicans. And you wonder why it's the worst governed state in American history. Well, that's a perfect setup to our next guest, product of Illinois. University of Illinois by way of New Trier High School. Steve Moore, thanks for joining us. Appreciate it.
Boy, you're on fire today, Dan and Amy. Good job. And by the way, I think you guys know this, and I think about most of your listeners know it. But the Census Bureau just came out with their data on population through 2018. There were only 2 states in the country that lost population over the last 9 years. Do you know what they were?
West Virginia and Illinois.
West Virginia. You're in good company there.
Yeah, yeah.
You're in really. And by the way, I think you told me a few weeks ago that Illinois actually lost population to West Virginia. So that's how. It's a scary situation. And look, I shouldn't laugh at this because, as you guys know, I'm from Illinois. I love Chicago. It's one of my favorite cities in the world. I think it's a world class. The people that I went downstate. I love the farmers of Illinois, and it's truly heartbreaking the way that the politicians have destroyed the state. And you guys are exactly right. It isn't all the Democrats. I mean, the Republicans also destroyed the state. I mean, probably the most sane governor you've had in the last 20 years was Blagojevich, and he's in jail now. So, I mean, it's just a sad, sad situation. But I have to say this. Is that the referendum on the tax increase, is that going to come to the ballot?
Yeah, it's on the ballot for November 2020.
Well,
and
I have
pass.
to say this, Dan. If the voters vote for that tax increase, then I give up. I'm done. I think you and Amy should just move out with the other hundreds and hundreds of thousands. I mean, it's done. You're done. The state is finished.
Yeah,
it's
but
the only thing. I've said this every week, but I keep saying it's my mantra. The only thing that even keeps Illinois afloat is the fact that you have a flat rate income tax, because every one of your other taxes, your gas tax, your sales tax, your property taxes, all those are through the roof. If the voters are stupid enough to fall for these ads, I saw an ad when I was there a few weeks ago saying, "Oh, only 1 or 2 or 3% of the people are going to pay all these taxes." If you believe that, you deserve the poverty of the state.
yeah, but we just legalized marijuana, so we could start
Oh,
selling.
good. Well, that's going to help them too, right?
no,
Because
they
people
say-
will be high when they go vote. Well, by the way, I don't have I'm actually in favor of marijuana for medical usage. I don't know about
recreational.
legalizing it for recreational. I mean, I've always been. You guys have known me a long time. I've always been pretty libertarian on that issue, but I have to say I've looked at what's happened, and so I've always been for marijuana legalization, but I have to say the results from some of these other states like Colorado and California are not good.
No.
Young people are using drugs at higher incidence, and that scares me.
And you'll be surprised to learn this, you already know it, but I want you to comment on it. High taxes also not producing great results. Forbes had a piece this week. 27 low-tax states saw private sector job growth of 3.2% in the last year and a half following the Trump tax cuts, with manufacturing payrolls growing by 3%. That's twice as fast as those other 23 high-tax states like Illinois in both overall as well as manufacturing.
Yeah, gee, what a shocker that is, right? Anybody who's even surprised by that needs to have their head examined. I mean, I've only been shouting that from your rooftops for 20 years. They had a hearing yesterday, by the way, in the Ways and Means Committee on the Democratic solution to all these people leaving the high tax states is to bring back the state and local tax deduction. And one of your Illinois congressmen who's on that panel was saying, "Oh, this is so unfair." It's like, wait a minute. I said, how is this unfair? I mean, if Illinois wants high taxes, it's your right, it's a sovereign state to do it, but don't require people in other states, in Texas and Florida and Utah and Idaho, to pay for the bloated services and bloated, pensions that you have there in Illinois.
But
as my mom used to say, you made your bed, sleep in it.
Absolutely. But here's the additional point. And since you speak to the president and I don't, I want you to convey this. The data additionally suggests about 500,000 jobs were created in low-tax states that might have otherwise gone to high-tax states absent the Trump tax cuts. And the leader in this, the leader of private sector payroll growth, Nevada, one of the swing states in 2020.
Yep.
Trump needs to make the point that perhaps the most important thing he's actually accomplished, not what he's tried to accomplish, but actually accomplish, is the tax cuts.
Amen to that. And Republicans, I always say Republicans couldn't sell water in a desert. They're so poor about talking to this. I talk to these groups all the time. I try to explain to them, here's how you sell this tax cut. It's been a spectacular success. We've got wages up. We've got jobs up. We've got the economic growth rate up. We've got manufacturing up. All these things have improved. And Republicans, refuse to talk about it, or they don't know how to talk about it. Look, the state and local tax deduction was subsidizing high tax states. That's why it's so stupid. For Illinois, if you raise your income taxes now, Uncle Sam isn't going to come to your rescue. The people in that state are going to have to pay 8% tax. Now, by the way, I'm going to give you guys both a little math equation here. I know this is very complicated, so get out your
I'm
Texas
ready.
Instrument pocket calculator.
Yes,
Are you ready?
yes.
I'm ready.
What is 8% of 0?
0.
Zero. So you're not going to get any money from these rich people because I told you this last week. I go to Florida, I go to Texas, I go to Tennessee, I go to Utah, I go to Idaho, I go to Nevada, I go to Arizona. All I see is Illinois license plates, and people have caught on. All you have to do is live 185 days in Arizona or Florida, and you can still keep your house in Illinois, but you don't pay Illinois income taxes. And so that's what everybody's going to do because rich people have choices, right? They don't have to live in Illinois.
That's right.
Or they could split their time.
Yeah, well,
6 months, one
established
day.
residency.
Established residency somewhere.
Yeah,
else.
there are more Illinoisans down Naples way than there is on the North Shore where you grow up, Steve.
Yeah. Now I'm gonna slip a little secret to you guys.
Yes.
I'm gonna try to do what you did, Dan. I'm gonna move back to Illinois. I haven't lived there in 30 years. I'm gonna reestablish residence. I'm gonna run for governor, and my platform is eliminate the state income tax. So I don't want an 8% income tax. I want a 0. You want to see Illinois, become the flying state of the country. Chicago should be the capital of the Midwest. You think of what that would do if you got rid of your income tax.
2022, Steve Moore
I
for
think
governor.
you ran on that, didn't you? Did you run on that when you ran?
Yes. Well, yes, but
No,
I'm sure
you
you'll
were
find more
way too
success.
liberal for me. That's why I couldn't vote for you.
You'll find more success than I did, probably. Hey, Steve, one more question for you, because I want to, and not just about people paying taxes, also the devastation, the human cost of terrible public policy. Really brought home this week a study out of NY School of Public Health that finds the 2 neighborhoods in the country that have the greatest disparity in life expectancy are located here in Chicago. Streeterville, where I live, where the life expectancy is 90, and Inglewood on the south side, which is almost 100% African American, the life expectancy is 60. 30-year spread in life expectancy 8 miles apart in the city of Chicago.
And so I guess what that proves is that, liberalism is bad for your health.
Yeah, well, in a sentence, no question about it. He is Steve Moore, economist.
It's bad for your wallet, and it's bad for your health, and it doesn't help. I mean, this is the point. High taxes, over government spending, bad schools. The people who are victimized by the teachers' unions, these liberal groups, are the very low-income minorities that they're supposed to be helping.
Absolutely. Steve Moore, Wall Street Journal columnist and economist. Steve, thanks for joining us. Appreciate it.
Okay, guys.
Take care.
Have a great week.
You
He
too.
joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
This is the morning show. More Chicago radio listeners are choosing. This is Chicago's Morning Answer.